Hello everyone, I have another video for you guys on some stuff I got yesterday. Now I know it's been about 2 weeks since I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I still have yet to make the giveaway video and the special video on all the computers I own to do with that. I'm going to do that sooner or later. I've been thinking about the giveaway, been kind of getting together some items to give away, and I just haven't had time to really make the other video yet though. But anyway, I'm going to go over some stuff I got yesterday from going to the electronics recycling place thing. First off, I found these 3 video cards. I found a GeForce 9800 GTX Plus 512 megabyte. This is similar to the one I have in my 2009 gaming PC, except it's a little different, obviously. XR8 or XLR8, whatever. It says it's the Performance Edition. I haven't looked at the specific specifications of this thing, but oh, it's a PNY, it's not a EVGA. Mine's an EVGA, so I think this one will be a little bit better than the one I have. Found 2 XFS GeForce 8800 GTS video cards. These are 320. It says 500M 320M. I haven't thought about how big these are. I think these are 512 megabyte. But the only problem is with these is that none of them work. This one gives output, but it gives it outputs all these weird blocks of color all over the screen. It's just all jumbled and messed up, so I might be able to fix that one. This one, when turned on, first I'm going to try turning it on, it started beeping really loudly. I think I forgot to plug in the connector there, so I plugged in a second time, it started smoking. So that's clearly broken. I'm doubtful of the fact I might be able to fix that. This one gives an output, but it's a little bit yellowish. The color's off, so I might be able to fix that. Might be a blown capacitor or something. So that'd be great to fix. And this motherboard's been here for a while. I just used this motherboard to test these video cards. It was actually in that PC over there for quite some time until I replaced it. Next up, I got 2 HP Pavilion A1600N desktop computers. Only problem is, neither of these things work properly either. They didn't have RAM or hard drives in them. They take DDR2 RAM. They've both got 2 GHz AMD Athlon X2 3800 plus dual core CPUs. What I don't get about AMD is why they have the model number 3800 plus, but half the CPU will be 2000 megahertz. I would think that the model number would, coincide with the number of megahertz fast the CPU is, but I guess not. But these both have blown and burst capacitors on the motherboard. I think this one has one very slightly burst capacitor. It looks like it's barely burst. This one has like 5 or 10 burst ones. So these both start up fine, although half the time I'd hit like F1 going to the BIOS setup. It would just ignore it and it would just go right over it. It wouldn't accept any keyboard input half the time. Now I'd try installing Windows XP and hard drives I put in these things I wiped, and it would just hang up at the Windows XP installation screen where it asks you what you want to do. If you want to repair the hard drive installation or if you want to continue or whatever, it would just lock up there. And it did the same thing for both computers. So I'm thinking it has something to do with the capacitors. I'm hoping at least. I tried a bunch of different hard drives. I tried different DVD drives, different power supplies, everything. One of these things had a 500 watt power supply in it. In fact, that's right here. This thing, it's a 500. Whoops, almost dropped it. Anyway, 500 watt Earth watts. Never heard of that before. It's pretty good looking. It's got a ton of connectors in the back. That's part of the reason I took it out. It has way too many connectors, and it just makes a mess of the inside of the computer with all these connectors. It's got a lot of PCI Express connectors and everything, so it's really quite an impressive power supply. But I was testing it out with a different power supply, but I didn't secure it in there because I figured everything didn't work. This one has like a 400 or 450 watt one in it though. But anyway, I'm going to do some capacitor repairs on those things. Hopefully, if I can find other capacitors to repair those with, and hopefully that'll work. Now, next up, well, I found this bag. I can't really see it because the lighting is bad in here, but I'll pick it up. I found this bag. It had a laptop in it. I'll tell you about that in a second. It also had a bunch of CDs in it. Okay, in here there's a Windows XP professional installation CD and a bunch of trial software CDs and stuff. These were useful. But the laptop it had in it is well, it's this thing. It's taken apart for a reason. So my brother was working on this. I don't know why he... Hold on. Go ahead and unplug this stuff. Completely disassembled it, kind of half-assed it, possibly. But this is... Let me see. It's an HP Pavilion ZV6000. So I've had one similar to this before. It's in pretty good shape and everything. I think it has... I think it's got 2 gigahertz AMD CPU. Where's a dual core? Oh my god, I can't remember. Here's the old one. I'm gonna read this for a sec. It's an AMD Athlon 64, so I think it was like a 2 gigahertz or something. Yeah, I think it was about 2 gigahertz AMD Athlon 64. But problem is, I'd start it up, it would lock up at the BIOS screen. Obviously, I'm not gonna start it up now because how would he manage that? He was taking this thing apart. Why does he take it apart like that? It's a very half-assed job, if you ask me. But whatever. I thought it was overheating, so he cleaned it out, but it wasn't overheating. It ends up it's probably something to do with the motherboard. So I tried out different RAM in it. And what annoys me about a lot of computers is only one RAM chip is accessible under here, the little door you can take off, and the other one is usually under the keyboard. Although, in the process of taking this thing apart to troubleshoot it, I kind of learned how to take keyboards off computers. It's a pretty easy process, actually, so that was a learning experience, but this thing doesn't work. I had a gigabyte of DDR RAM, and I think it had like a, oh my gosh, I can't remember anything. It had like a 60 gigabyte hard drive, I think, something like that. Bottom to it. So it clearly has some type of motherboard problem or something with it. Yeah, that's that. It's not overheating though, I don't think. So it locked up in the same spot over and over and over again. I think it wouldn't get hot, and it wasn't that dusty inside. But anyway, that's enough on this thing. I also got this monitor here. I've got a couple of these before. It's an HP W1907 monitor. It looks like it's about 21, 22 inch. I think this display is 1680 by 1050, and I think it worked. It works. I plugged in the power to it, but I didn't actually test it out by plugging it into a computer yet because I just didn't get around to it yet. So I think it works. It doesn't really give any specs in the back. Yeah, whatever. It was made in January 2008, so it's almost 5 years old, but whatever. Now on to other things. Actually, I have this HP Compaq NC6400. I mentioned this in my last video. It was sitting on the Yamaha keyboard thing right there. I mentioned how I wasn't doing anything with it, but I finally kind of got around to working on this thing a little bit more. I used to have RAM issues where it would lock up and stuff. And originally I thought one of the RAM slots was bad, but I put RAM in it I took out of a MacBook that I sold. Because I got a MacBook a couple months ago that was all banged up that I sold for parts. And I took the RAM out of that, I put it in this thing, and it seems to work fine now. So I kind of have my fingers crossed here with, you know, I'm hoping it'll stay working. It's missing the backspace key, but it's got Intel Core 2 Duo 1.66 gigahertz. I put 2 gigs of that laptop memory in it. It's pretty much the same type, 1 gigabyte chips, a 67 megahertz DDR2 RAM, 120 gig SATA hard drive, DVD-ROM drive, wireless, XP Pro Service Pack 3. So that's enough on that. There's more stuff to mention. This stuff here, some of the stuff has been here for 3 or 4 weeks. Some of it I just got the other day. Actually, all this stuff over here, I just got the other day. Apologize for the bad lighting. Some of these lights burnt out and you still have to replace them. But I've got 1 keyboard, 2 keyboards, 3 keyboards. This little thing at the bottom goes to one of them. Let me see, I've got some CDs here. What are these? This is a Dell Drivers and Utilities CD for the Dell XPS L701X. Don't know why I took that, but I did. Reinstallation CD of Windows XP Home Edition. It doesn't say what Service Pack is. It says copyright 2001, which is when XP was released, so I'm guessing it's Service Pack 1. This is not the XP CD I was referring to, so I got 2 XP CDs. I mean, it's not the one I was referring to when I said I got one in that laptop pack. That's another one. Microsoft Publisher CD. Installation CD, it's kind of old though. And Microsoft Office XP Professional Installation CD, version 2002. I think these are both version 2002. Linksys wireless router. Let me see, what's this IBM power adapter? 16 volt, 3.36 amp. I'll probably need that. This is a sound card, probably just going to go ahead and scrap that in a while. Linksys, I think this is a switch. Yeah, this is the switch. And another little Linksys switch. I have these power supplies lying around from about 3 weeks ago. I still have to test them. And I'm thinking of buying a power supply tester. I used to do the paperclip test, where you insert the paperclip into the connector here, or one to the green connector, one to the black one. But yeah, it's not really an official way of testing. So I'm gonna buy a power supply tester for about 10 or 15 bucks and make sure these power supplies all work properly. I got this monitor about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I haven't even really touched it yet. Also, got a subwoofer, but I got this 4-port router here. It's a what brand is it? See, I don't even look at stuff before I make videos on it half the time. I focus heavily on some stuff to Belkin, and then I don't even touch other stuff. It's got the driver installation seat in the top there, and I got a power supply for it, right around here somewhere. Also got a power supply for, actually the power supply's right here, but I also got a power supply for a printer, so you can test it more quickly. So printers aren't really worth crap, so I'm not going to focus too heavily on getting printers working anytime soon. I also got this 12 volt DC to 115 volt AC high efficiency 140 watt portable power inverter. We actually were using one of these during last year's October snowstorm to power the router downstairs in the house when the power was out off of the car battery. But this one takes power from a car battery, outputs 115 volt AC current out there. It's only 140 watt though, but you could power a laptop maybe off this using a car battery, or a laptop power supply. I mean, you could definitely not power a desktop off that, because 140 watts is not really enough, obviously. Now, I got a whole handful of laptops yesterday, but I have to say very few of them actually work. First of which is this Compaq, it's a Compaq Presario R3000. It had a 3 GHz Pentium 4 in it, had a gigabyte of RAM, 2 512 meg chips, 60 gig hard drive right here. But unfortunately, it has a really annoying issue. It's also missing a key. I think that's probably I don't know which key that's missing, but it has an annoying little issue with it, where it shuts off automatically. Sometimes you press the power button, nothing happens. Sometimes you press the power button and all that happens is the power light flashes for about 1/10 of a second. Sometimes it starts up and then shuts off the BIOS screen. Sometimes it starts up and then, boots up and works absolutely fine. But it's obviously not reliable enough for me to really set up and sell. So, I tried a bunch of different stuff with this thing. I think it's the power jack that I'm going to be messing up, because I tried different RAMs. Absolutely not the RAM, I'm sure of that. Not any of the other components. It's definitely something on the motherboard, so I'm a little unhappy with that. Actually, no, I shouldn't be unhappy with it, because, I got this thing for free. I can't really complain. But, it looks kind of like a Compaq Presario V2000, but it's a little bit bigger. So that's that. It's got this IBM ThinkPad. Hold on. Gotta open up these pesky tabs with one hand. Okay, hold on. Okay. So, it's an IBM ThinkPad 600E. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. And actually, this laptop's from 1999. But look at it. It's a very nice looking laptop for 1999. It's pretty slim. Not too heavy. And I really like the design of these things. Although IBM really hasn't changed their ThinkPad design too much. It has a Pentium 2, I think it's like a 366 megahertz CPU. I have a power supply for it. Actually, this laptop didn't come with a power supply, but I found one for it. This one's huge, but it works. But I need to wipe the hard drive for it. Maybe install Windows 2000 or maybe even XP on it, because it seems to work fine. It's only got 128 megs of RAM though, and like a 366 megahertz CPU, so it's really nothing good. But I looked it up on eBay, but people seem to want it. I might be able to make 20 or 30 bucks off it. So yeah. Now this is kind of another story. This is a laptop I've had for a while. I think it's a Pentium 3. I just recently found out that I have quite a few power supplies for these laptops, although they're not the right amperage. So what I've been doing is I've been taking power supplies of lower amperage, plugging them in to charge the batteries, unplugging the power adapters, and then running the computer. Because if you run a laptop off a power adapter with the amperage that's too low, then it'll fry either the adapter or the laptop, or maybe even both. So I've had this one for a while. I'll talk about it here. It's got a Pentium 3 in it. I don't think it's really anything too special. I haven't really messed around with it too much. I honestly haven't even checked out the specifications. I think it's like a 20 gig hard drive or something. But I've had this thing for probably a year or two. But just gonna let that charge. Yeah, it's been charging for maybe an hour or two now. Oops. Or take this and put it somewhere, would you?
Sure.
Let's put it on top of that compact right there. Yeah, well, I just looked at this thing the other day. It's an HP Pavilion ZE4600. This thing actually works, unlike, 2/3 of the stuff I got. It has a 1.8 gigahertz AMD Athlon, a gigabyte DDR RAM, 60 gig hard drive. It has a CD reliable high-speed drive. That's also a DVD-ROM. It's in good condition. It works absolutely fine. But I don't have a power supply for it, so I've been charging the battery using a low amperage power supply and then unplugging it to turn it on and stuff. It works. It has an XP COA in the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe the hard drive whenever I can and put XP on it. So I'm probably going to buy a power adapter for it, and then once that arrives I'll use that to run SIG and wipe the hard drive and whatnot. So that's enough on that, I think. Okay, I know. So many routers up here. Now, the thing is... Oh yes, I was going to talk about this. I have this IBM ThinkPad R40 laptop. We've actually had this for probably almost a couple years now. I remember a couple years ago, we made a video on it, and we said how, oh no, the CD drive doesn't work. We need an external CD drive to load Windows on because it's not working. Well, it ends up that the CD drive was simply disabled in the BIOS. It was perfectly working. When I went into the boot device priority, though, it had an exclamation point next to the CD drive. I thought that meant that it wasn't working, or that it didn't recognize it. So I went ahead and I loaded the BIOS defaults, and it ends up that I looked at the boot device priority again. It didn't have the exclamation point next to it, so I was kind of puzzled by that. So I went into help in the BIOS and found that the exclamation point simply means that it's disabled. So, resetting the defaults enabled the device. Now I'm debanning a hard drive. Now, I don't have a power supply for this, and we used to technically have a power supply for it, because we have this universal power supply here. It goes anywhere between 15 22 volts and up to 4.6 amp, the 426 amp, I think. So that's pretty good. But the only thing is, well, it has these different ends for it. Different voltages with different connectors in the end. We got this about 2.5 years ago, but the problem is, my brother has lost every single connector end to it but two. The only ones we have left is a 19.5 volt and a 19 volt. They're both the same connector type, and they don't work with the R40. So at one point we did have, I remember we had the right connector type for it, but of course my brother, being himself, went ahead and lost that, along with probably 75% of the other connectors. So yeah, that's great. So I've been, again, using a low amperage power supply for it to charge the battery. And the battery in this thing's actually amazing. This thing's been running and debanding for an hour, exactly right now. So I was kind of surprised by that. And I'm actually only wiping a 6.15 gigabyte hard drive because I'm just kind of doing it as a test to see if the battery lasts long enough. And if it works well enough with that, I might wipe like a 12 gigabyte to put in this IBM ThinkPad if the battery lasts long enough. But I guess I could use this hard drive being wiped anyway. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be roughly it. And actually, I didn't mention this in my last video, but I sold this iMac G5 to my friend. But he gave it back to me because he doesn't need it anymore. Actually, specifically, his mom doesn't want him to have it anymore, and she wanted him to get rid of it. But whatever, that's not the point. The point is that he gave it back to me, and I'm going to give him back a little bit of the money he originally paid for it. He bought it from me for $200 about 4 months ago, and he's a little bit of a modest person. He says, "Oh no, you don't have to pay me back anything." I'm like, nonsense. You know, I have to give you at least $50 or $100 back because, you know, paying $200 for 3.5 months of using a computer is not really fair. So I'm gonna probably give him back $50 or $100. I can probably sell this thing again for $200 to $250. So that's pretty good. I also have this other one here that was on top of the desk here for the longest time. I finally got a hard drive for it, but unfortunately the front doesn't stay on. I can't really figure out how to make things stay together on it. I think the tabs may be broken, so that's going to be a real pain. I really don't want to have to resort to super gluing it, and also I can't get the I can't get it to work. I haven't really even touched this thing for probably 3 weeks, but I can't really get the operating system to install or anything on it, so I can't really remember what exactly the deal is, but I'm gonna mess around with that later. My God, I've been talking so much. I can't think of anything else to mention. Although, I bought these 20 CMOS batteries from China for $1.50. They took 3 weeks to get to my house from China, but, you know, it's a pretty good deal. $1.50 for 20 CMOS batteries. I mean, that's less than someone could ship these for in the United States. You know, it's a perfect example of outsourcing and not outsourcing. You know what I mean? You know, China's selling stuff for more money than people can ship it for the United States or even manufacture it for. So it's a good deal for me, though. Yeah. So pretty much the deal is I'm just going to organize all this stuff and just sort through everything, like I usually almost finish doing every week, until a mess builds up so much that I end up cleaning it all up, which I'm probably going to do soon. But it's getting late. It's not too late yet. It's 6:49 on a Sunday night, so I have homework, and I really can't spend any more time out here working on anything, so I am unfortunately going to have to, you know, call it this for the day. Although I'm planning on purchasing some more power adapters and stuff before the day is done. Hopefully those will arrive in a couple weeks, or those laptops. But this video has been far, not too long, but it's been long enough, so I'm going to end it off here. So, as usual, thank you guys for watching, and see you later.